जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna and welcome back. Thank you for joining. Today we are discussing the verse number 30 of chapter number 2 from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and this is the last or the concluding verse on the knowledge of soul which Krishna is going to talk about in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in the previous verse, Krishna is telling Arjuna that how some people look at the soul and they tell that it is amazing. Some people describe the soul as amazing. And similarly, other people, they hear about the soul and they say that soul is amazing. However, there are some unfortunate people who even after hearing about the soul, they cannot understand the soul at all. So these are various different categories of people described in the previous verse to Arjuna by Krishna. And then one very important point in that previous verse was the size of the soul is same. So the soul is 1/10,000 the tip of the hair. This is a dimension of the soul given, and that same soul is animating the bacteria, and the same soul is animating the elephant or a banyan tree or any human beings, or any animals. So that is very, very amazing, that how such a small soul which is able to animate such big objects or big bodies. So in this verse, Krishna is going to conclude the Jnana section. The Jnana section is from verse 2.11 to 2.30. This is the section B of chapter number 2. And Jnana means knowledge. So by acquiring knowledge, then Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight, that there is no death for the soul. That is the conclusion. So these are the details of what we have already discussed in these sessions. And now we are going to discuss the last verse, verse number 30. In the Jnana section. So let's read the Sanskrit. Chapter 2 verse 30. Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam sochitum arhasi. So Krishna is saying, O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore you need not grieve for any living being. And if we go by the Sanskrit, then the first line says Dehi nityam avadyoyam, and the second line is Dehi sarvasya bharata. So O Bharata, Bharata means Arjuna, who is a descendant of Maharaj Bharat. So that's why he is called as Bharata. So Krishna is telling ultimately in this verse that Dehi means the owner of the body. Owner of the body is Nityam. Nityam is eternal. Avadyo means it cannot be killed. So this soul cannot be killed, which is actually dwelling in every body. Dehe sarvasya bharata. So that soul is there in every body. So Krishna is saying, therefore, tasmat. Tasmat means therefore, sarvani bhutani means for all living beings. What you should not do? Natvam sochitam arhasi. Natvam sochitam arhasi means you should not grieve or do not lament. So this particular theme Krishna has repeated several times in last few verses of chapter 2. Natvam sochitam arhasi, nainam sochitam arhasi, and different ways. Krishna is telling Arjuna that do not lament. Do not lament on this body which is temporary in nature, and perform your duty knowing that the soul, which is the owner of the body, is not going to be killed. So this is about this particular verse. So in this first section of Bhagavad Gita, in the terms of the Lord Krishna's instruction, we see that the instruction which is given from 11 to 30, Krishna is telling that do not lament because the soul is indestructible, and then fight. So now Krishna is in the later verses, Krishna is going to actually tell Arjuna at a higher level. So this is the foundation knowledge or foundation education given to Arjuna that we are not this body, we are soul. And after giving this foundation information, now Krishna is going to say that if I know that I am not the body, I am a soul, but then how do I act in the life? How do I live in this life? Therefore, Krishna is going to take this discussion to a higher level or the next phase, where we need to work systematically and we have to introspect what is the way I can come out of this bodily conception, because this bodily conception is very, very strong. So therefore, in order to bring out all this soul systematically from the bodily conception, Krishna is going to give the very basic level of knowledge, and that very basic level of knowledge is the Karma Kanda. And we are going to understand those terms in details in the next verse. But this is what will be the instructions in the future verses. Futures, at least 31 to 38, Krishna is going to talk about the Karma Kanda, the basic understanding of this philosophy, and how person knowing that, they are not this body, they can, after understanding this, then they can work towards achieving some higher goals. So Arjuna's soul is indestructible, so he should perform religious activities, and Arjuna's duty is to fight and abstain or obtain victory. Sorry, not abstain, but obtain victory. So this is the first level, that is Karma Kanda. So Karma Kanda basically provides material enjoyment under dharmic framework. So basically it's a gradual elevation. So we'll see verse 31 to 38 is answering Arjuna's second argument of enjoyment. He's saying that if I fight, I will kill all my relatives and I won't be able to enjoy. That was Arjuna's argument. But Krishna on the other hand says that if you don't fight, you will not be able to enjoy. So we'll discuss that particular point in the future verses that will be coming. So let's read what Srila Prabhupada is discussing in the purport of this particular verse. So the purport begins with the conclusion. So the conclusion is, the Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. In describing the immortal soul in various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. So this is the main point in the several verses which we have discussed in previous sessions about the science of soul, that the body is mortal, the soul is immutable and unchangeable, and it is eternal in nature, and the body is changing all the time. It is going through 6 different kinds of transformations. So knowing all this, what Arjuna should do, so that is Prabhupada writing in the next point as Arjuna must perform his duty. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher Bhishma and Drona will die in the battlefield, because they are actually soul having a temporary body of Bhishma and Drona. So Arjuna should not give up performing his duty. The next part is understand about soul from authority. So this is a key thing in the theme of Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada stresses this point very much, that we should always study under somebody who is authorized to teach, and our authority in this case is Lord Krishna. So Krishna is giving this message, and then the Acharya who are following Krishna, they are just they are passing on the same message what Krishna has given. So this knowledge about soul, which we have studied so far, is based on the authority of Krishna. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body. Not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. So Prabhupada is saying that we have to believe some authority, right? So either the scientist or Lord Sri Krishna. So that is up to us. In that Krishna, that free will actually is there with all living entities, and Krishna never takes away that free will from us. So we have a choice to decide whom should I follow. So here we believe the words of Lord Shri Krishna, and his words say that, or Lord Shri Krishna is saying that we are soul which is different from this material body, and we are eternal in nature. And it is not that we are just a combination of chemicals. So this is on the authority of Lord Krishna. Violence is not encouraged. So when somebody knows that we are eternal, or the soul is eternal, so is violence allowed? So that is answered in this concluding verse, that no, violence is not allowed. Yes, violence is allowed under certain circumstances, and that is when some authority is permitting to allow violence, so then the violence can be done under the guidance of such authorities. Otherwise, violence is not allowed. Because if we do violence, then we are subjected to sin. And when we perform sin, then we have to go through the sufferings. So that's why we do not do violence. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. But at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is an actual need for it. So violence has its needs. And when that violence is done based on the need and under the direction of superior authority, like for example some government, then it is okay, because the government is taking responsibility. We are not whimsically going and killing anybody. Okay, that need must be justified in terms of sanction of the Lord and not capriciously. So one cannot capriciously go and start killing people. One has to follow or get the sanctions or permissions from the Lord or the government, who is in charge. So the examples can be given here. The judge is awarding a capital punishment. So he is just responsible? No. That person who has done crime, for that crime the judge is punishing. So this kind of punishment is allowed, right? Similarly, a surgeon performing operation. So when surgeon perform operation, he cuts the body, all kind of blood and everything is coming out. Sometimes he takes out the bodily parts and replaces. So there's a lot of, appears that there's a lot of violence, but this is necessary because this violence is going to help the patient to get cured. So that's why it is allowed. So one has to understand. So best thing is, we have to work under the authority. Now Krishna has discussed, he has used different words to describe that the soul is eternal. Right? So what are those words? I have put it in this presentation format, and then it's easy to see, which verse has those words used for describing soul as eternal. Right? For example, eternal is the word eternal is used in verse 12, 18, 20, 21 and 30. No change is used in 16. Indestructible is used in 17, 18 and 21. Imperishable. So on. There are 30 different ways Krishna is describing the characteristics of soul. Like here 16 is cannot be cut into pieces, or cannot be burned by fire, or moistened by water. Similarly, it is present everywhere, and unchangeable, immovable. So all these words Krishna is using in this 11 verse number 11 to verse number 30 to describe the soul, and that has been put in this format for you to just go through over it. And whatever has been discussed in the purport is put in the presentation format. And the next section, which is section C, is verse 31 to 38. So this is the upcoming attraction. Verse 31 to 38, the topic is Karma Kanda. So we have understood about the soul, that the soul is eternal. Now, how to practically apply that in our life. So this is the first level of practical application, and this is being talked to Arjuna. So the instructions will be applicable to Arjuna, as well as these instructions are also applicable to all of us. So we will understand this term Karma Kanda, and then Krishna is saying that Karma Kanda means you understand the term Karma Kanda and then fight. For gains come from dutiful fighting and losses come from not fighting. So Karma Kanda philosophy is encouraging that, basically you perform something in this life, some sacrifice something in this life, and then you gain, or when you perform your duty actually, and then you gain punya, pious credits, and then later on you can enjoy those pious credits. And if you do not do punya, if you do not do your duty, then basically you are going to lose. Basically you are going to incur papa or sin, and for that you'll have to suffer. So this summary of that whole thing is 31 to 38 is, if Arjuna dies in the battle, he will be promoted to heaven, and if he wins the battle, he will rule the earth. So in both the cases, it's a win-win for Arjuna. Dishonor will overcome him if he leaves the battlefield. So these points are all discussed in details from 31 to 38. So in the next sections we will discuss these verses in the future sessions. So thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.